Hey fellow outlaws, and welcome back to Destiny Shoots. In today's video, firstly, we're going to be going over what glitches still exist in Red Dead Online today. We will be focusing on the toxic ones. A lot of you guys have been inquiring into what has been patched and what's still relevant in Red Dead Online today. So we've got all that information coming up, so don't go anywhere. Also coming up on the show, guys, we're going to be exposing more cheaters. We're talking cronus cheats, lag switchers, off radar, everything you can think of, any advantage that people are trying to gain over their opponents. We're also going to be looking at the definition of what a gaming cheat actually is also. We're going to be going live to the feed where No Mercy receives his first coronavirus jab live on Destiny Shoots. You guys do not want to miss this. Trust me. Fourth on the agenda, guys, we're going to be looking at the truth behind No Mercy's posse battles and the lies he seems to think he can put out. Recently, he tried saying that I made a comment on somebody's Cronus Max headshot video when that's not the video that I actually made the comment on. Now, since you want to lie, we're going to be looking at video footage of No Mercy repeatedly getting his kicked, and we're going to be looking at the deception and lies he puts out to everybody. Trying to troll me was a massive mistake because I've got more intelligence in my little finger than all of MXR's brain cells put together. Now, without further ado, guys, let's get this show started. First of all, can you still shoot while activating slippery? Hell yes you can. I can't see this one going anywhere anytime soon, guys, and the same works when you're using revolvers. Now, the good news about this glitch is it can be countered very easily. Check out my video, the slippery glitch, and you'll find out how to counter this with ease. Next on the list is the tonic glitch. Now, the first tonic glitch, as you can see, it's to do with taking the tonic and then diving. Unfortunately, this is still in the game, as is taking the tonics while in slippery, slow and steady, and in focus fire. Now, again, guys, until we receive a new DLC update, I can't see any of these glitches going absolutely anywhere. Now, on to a more commonly asked question: does the wall breach still work? Yes, it does, and it is straight f***ing up one-on-ones. It makes people not want to do one-on-ones because all people are interested in doing is camping, getting a dead eye paint from a mile away, running up to a rock, and then shooting through it. Now, this is absolutely ridiculous, and like I said before, it kind of makes everybody not want to do one-on-ones. This doesn't prove absolutely anything. Now, just briefly onto the God mode glitch. As some of you guys are aware, this is probably not going to be patched for some time, but the more we try to raise awareness to this, the more chance we're actually going to have of getting any results, unfortunately. However, as a lot of you guys might be aware now, people are absolutely taking the out of this glitch by entering into defensive mode also, and that somehow counters being pistol whipped and then shot in the head and killed. So the best thing to do, guys, if you come across someone that is invincible, just change lobbies, use the fast travel post, get yourself out of there. It's just not worth the time and effort, and in real life these people have quite clearly got tiny penises. Now, speaking of players with tiny penises, the off-radar glitch still works. There's still nothing we can do about that. And also the invisibility glitch still works. And again, we're waiting endlessly for the next DLC update to see if any changes have been made to any of the glitches. Now, guys, we've reached that embarrassing part of the video again. Let's go live to the feed to see how No Mercy's coronavirus vaccination went.
You have to be a big boy.
Big boys get a toy from the toy chest.
No, 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 no.
No.
I'm sorry, but I have a lot of other patients to see. I just have to try again next week.
So you heard it first, guys. They're going to try again next week. Poor No Mercy, scared of a quick vaccination. Okay guys, just going to quickly turn your attention to this individual. Now, if any of you guys have got any questions relating to older content on the channel, a lot of the things now have been patched. But if you look at something like the tonic jump, that has now been patched. I demonstrated this move on my control pad in previous videos to prove that this was not a Cronus Max move, as you can see demonstrated in this video. But if anyone wants to ask me a question about older gameplay, about newer gameplay, please come respectfully, and I won't be forced to drop a people's elbow. As you can see, this guy is an absolute jabroni. He has no clue about this game or the past of this game, even though the glitches within the game are just game glitches and do not originate from Cronus Max. Now, that's what a complete dumbass this player is. And dudes, let's get serious. How many normal people would approach somebody in real life, all guns blazing, accuse them of cheating, and ask questions later? Why not just be respectful and ask them how they're able to do the move if they're not using Cronus? But unfortunately, some people are dragged up and not brought up, and they have no manners, and they turn into internet trolls. Anyway, moving on from this low level IQ jabroni troll, and speaking of cheaters, let's expose some of the cheats from this month. Okay guys, as you can see in the video, this is not exactly a difficult one to prove. Obviously, I've received probably around 50 different messages regarding this individual. This is someone that is a self-confessed Cronus user, and this is someone where we've got so many different videos of this man lag switching, it's not even funny. Now, the problem here is pretty simple. If you're going to use Cronus against your friends and everyone's consenting to it, then that's one thing. When you're going into a PvP and you're using it against people to gain the upper hand, you, my friend, are a cheater. Now, with the lag switch, we don't exactly need to prove this. The man has placed himself behind something, used his lag switch, and then shot from a different angle. Now, one question I have as a high level player is, after all that time of grinding and trying to get a reputation for yourself, was it worth it? And all this over a cowboy game. Now, I've never received as many messages and videos on anyone as I have on this lag switcher. It's f***ing ridiculous. My advice to you, little man, is to leave your mum's house, get a job, get therapy for your social anxiety, and get f***ed. Okay guys, this is another classic example. We don't really need to prove anything here. The proof is in the video. The off-radar glitch people are carrying over into shootout series. This is getting absolutely ridiculous. And again, this is coming from players that can't play, that have got no skill, and spending far too much time in their mother's basement. Now, this one makes my life easy, guys. It's very self-explanatory. People are using the hair clip with the female characters, then attaching a posse outfit and going into a shootout series. Now, why do people do this? So they can take multiple headshots and reattach their hat again to take more headshots. If they have a 20 kill to 4 death ratio and they've used a hat reattachment 5 times, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that they've killed 15 people and died 9 times. Why do they do this? They've got no skill, no talent, and they're scumbag little cheats. Okay dudes, got to quickly turn your attention to these trash griefers that tried griefing us just last night. Now, as some of you guys are aware, we select 1 or 2 players to come in a training session in the box. We mostly do spin battles and free aim. Now, this is the video clip that he sent me to prove that he got a kill on me, which is absolutely fantastic. But you've kind of been caught red-handed because it shows you spawning into our session. Now, we only had 3 players in the session, and we have no answer to why this griefing little scumbag wanted to do this in the first place. Now, if you guys are familiar with the video King of the Showdown Part 3, you'll repeatedly see this dickhead getting his ass kicked repeatedly because he's just another trash player. Now, as you can see, they started off with 4 players outnumbering us 4-3, and at this stage everyone was using Paint It Black, no one was using E rounds, and everything looked, well, as even as it possibly could at that point. But as you can see here, guys, the video doesn't lie. One at a time, they got their asses kicked. And it definitely reminded me of sticking a hot knife through butter. But unfortunately, because this was happening, even though they outnumbered us 4-3, then they had to go to the next level. Now, when a scumbag posse doesn't get their own way, they try to bring snipers into the session. So you've got players fighting in the middle of the battlefield, and you've got scumbags sniping them from all different angles. Now, they do this just so they can repeatedly kill you and keep the odds in their favour. Their attacks were mostly mounted in 2s and 3s, and when they didn't have 2s and 3s, they just ran away. Now, even though the odds were stacked against us because they kept the advantage in their corner, when we started getting the better of them, this is what they decided to do next. Now, this dude's my absolute hero. It's basically saying that we can't win, so we're going to start E-rounding you. Now, VI Green got his ass kicked again and again and again and again, because players like this are absolute trash. So what he resulted in doing is finding his best friend, the one that's in slippery, using incendiary rounds and coming at me in 2s. This is absolutely embarrassing. Look at this fool. And even though all this drama's happening, you can see I'm still getting the better of him. He's an absolute dickhead. So the second the posse starts with the E round and incendiaries, in case you guys didn't know, it means you have lost. Now, as you can see here, guys, as soon as I get the better of one of them, another person just stands behind them and shoots me with an incendiary round. These players are extremely brave and a bunch of little dickheads. Now, we tried fighting back with E rounds also, and as you can see here, it's never a one-on-one. The odds are always against us. If you look at how many people they recruited in the session against 3 people, it's absolutely embarrassing, but I don't blame them. I blame their parents for having a drug addiction. Now, guys, we was not the only people in the session that were being griefed. This poor guy, all he was doing was collecting, and he got griefed by the same group of people. Now, in the end, everyone in the lobby started banding together, and everyone started to fight these little dickheads back. And as they started to use E rounds, we started to use E rounds, and it was becoming pretty clear that they were taking tier 3 tonics. And yes, VI Green was getting smothered like peanut butter jelly. Now, throughout this period, VI Green done absolutely everything to try to protect his reputation. Actually, that's a lie, because he hasn't got a reputation. Now, he accused us of cheating and bringing people in the session that were off radar and all types of bullshit, but it turns out that VI Green's mum never sent him to school, and therefore he has no education. Now, if you want to grief every single player in the lobby, then expect that one of those players is going to call someone in off radar. It has nothing to do with us, and we don't really give a shit, because we're really going to care about what other people are doing when you've come in the lobby to grief everybody. I mean, this is the intelligence of VI Green. He seems to think that I'm going to stop absolutely everything and tell people off. And as you guys probably might have guessed, they then switched to cheating. Again, this is because they are absolute scumbag trash posse. As you can see, I've shot this guy repeatedly, and take a look at his health bar. It's not moving anywhere. This dickhead is rocking God mode. And yes, no party is complete unless some dickhead starts to lag switch. And quite clearly, this player is in front of me, right? Oh no, he's behind me. This guy is a lag switching piece of shit that somehow thinks he's going to get away with doing it. Now, in the end, they all decided to leave the session, and of course, VI Green, aka Alex Green, decided to accuse us of DDoSing them. And again, in case you don't understand posse rules, if you parlay with someone or leave the session, that means you have lost. Now, the main culprits in this session belong to BCD, and the funny thing is I thought we were all friends. As you can see, this guy Maze, who was along with VI Green, this is him getting his ass smacked in Showdown like he does all the time, probably why he was along trying to grief. Now, shout out to Edgar for helping out. Your help was muchly appreciated. Shout out to Decoctions as well, griefed for no reason. And shout out to the Cold Bullet, Balas Frias. Angel, my friend, your help was muchly appreciated. Now, what's this? I can hear everybody saying, MXR off radar? They wouldn't possibly do that, would they? Oh, no, they would, because they're a bunch of cheating little scumbags. Now, for you guys that are eagerly anticipating the videos I've got coming up in a little while, here's a little bit of insight into what we're going to be seeing. Lots of Cronus using scumbags off radar because they can't fight for shit. And guess what? They're the victims in all of this. But before we get into any of that, guys, firstly, we're going to be taking a look at what actually is the definition of a gaming cheat.
Well, how about I just do everything? How does that sound? I just do everything while you guys sit here and play video games.
Now, dudes, this is a subject that I've wanted to research for some time now. It seems to me that there's so much confusion going on Red Dead Online nowadays. There's people that have the finger pointed at them for being cheats that are not actually doing anything. People don't come up with sufficient evidence to back up what they're saying. However, we've got various different guidelines from different websites and we're going to be going over everything. Now, the first piece of information I'd like to share with you guys is this. Cheating in a video game involves a video game player using various methods to create an advantage beyond normal gameplay. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys with some of the more technical stuff, including the data within the game and how people manipulate that. I'm going to stick to the guidelines that we have in front of us. Now, if someone was to use game glitches, for example, and they use that as an advantage over another player, then it is cheating. But here's where it gets complicated. Now, we're going to look at something called consent. Now, I'm not here to insult anyone's intelligence, and I know that all you guys know exactly what that means. If you are playing with one of your friends and you both agree to use glitches on each other, then who's being cheated? Nobody. You are not using an in-game glitch to your advantage. You're both agreeing on what the rules are, so therefore no one is physically being cheated. Now, to actually cheat another player on this game, it all evolves around using something that your player has no idea about. Maybe it's a device, a glitch, a lag switch, and all they're doing is lying. They're telling you they're not using anything when in actual fact they're cheating. And that is an absolute huge difference between, for example, two players that are using Cronus. If two players agree to use scripts on one another in a CVC, then everyone knows exactly what's going on, and this comes down to consent. No players can be cheated if both players are consenting. It's when players go into PvP and different free roam events and they're using these devices and glitches to gain the advantage on other players. Now, the most confusing thing about all of this is players do have that mentality: if somebody uses this on me, I'm going to use it back on them. Now, I completely understand that point of view. If someone was using a lag switch on you, you would want to use a lag switch on them, right? You would want to keep things on an even level. And that's pretty much how we've ended up in this position where about 75% of gamers on Red Dead are using Cronus Max. Everyone believes that everyone's using it, so everyone's gone out and brought it. Everyone seems to think that the glitches within the game are somehow just Cronus Max. Now, it does take an individual like myself to be able to enlighten everybody that that's not a fact. Now, for any of you guys out there that have indeed thought like this before, you are not alone. I too used to think that if someone was using game glitches against me, then I would go right ahead and use those moves back. But nowadays I resort to beating the arse off players that are using Cronus and then laughing in their face afterwards because I'm not using anything. And for some of you guys that have been following me for some time now, you'll all remember the video where I kicked TGB Nervo's arse, aka Auxon, aka Vexasus. This is the same guy that preaches that he's a Cronus Max god. But the thing is after I killed him 3 times in a row and then beat his ass in the showdown, his ego couldn't take the fact that even his Cronus was not enough to defeat me. And in his mind, his ego couldn't accept it. That's why he came out with all the hate afterwards. So guys, after seeing the psychology behind why they want to cheat and continue to cheat, it's very, very obvious this is how they get their kicks. This is how they feel good about themselves, and they like to feel like they're up all the time, and it's because they're using all these devices. Now guys, this is plain and simple. If you agree with another posse to all fight off radar, no one is being cheated. Everyone is playing on the same level, everyone's agreeing to it, and nobody can cry about it. And that's the simple fundamentals of how this works. But when you're going into a PvP against clean players and new members of the community, then why the would you still want to use these scumbag cheating moves against people? It's not fair and it's not right. And also, just to briefly look at the other end of the spectrum, I also don't agree with the hall monitors. The people that go around pointing a finger at absolutely everybody when they're quite clearly using the online collector's map without anybody knowing about it. I don't agree with people like that. We've all done things on this game, but the thing that is most important is finding balance. If you know something is wrong and you're taking advantage of other players, then you know full well that it's wrong. Let's not play games here. It comes down to common sense. If you haven't got it, then get the out of here. Now dudes, the main part of this video is now come to an end. Thank you very much for watching, and do remember to like, share and subscribe. For you dudes that want to see this fat idiot getting his kicked, then let's view this footage together. Try not to laugh, you're going to get my immediate reaction to what I was seeing. Okay dudes, let's see what's going on here. Straight in with the incendiaries. Yeah, I'm not really surprised by that, to be fair. Good recovery though. Took him down with a lasso. Smart. Very smart. He's going for the execution. Hold on a second. Man, how many shots? Man, you know what? He just missed 4 shots in a row. He's hitting, you know what? He's hitting every single thing except for the player. This No Mercy is a pro sniper, and he's missed 5 shots in a row. Dude, considering most snipers out there will just level you with 1 shot, and you're taking 5 shots in a row, you're basically giving them 5 chances to shoot you in the face. So I suppose that this is really the gameplay footage that he hides from people, because he does a clipped kill of every time he manages to get a kill, but he hides the rest from everybody, which is well, it's pretty scumbag, to be honest. This is why I press the record button and record the whole thing. But that's 5 shots. Dudes, all I'm seeing at this point is like 100 bullets coming from No Mercy and just not hitting anything. Dude, why don't you tell everybody what your ability layout is again? No Mercy, tell us the cards that you use again. Sorry dudes, I've got to compose myself here. I need to kind of try to keep things professional. Everyone seems to just be charging. Oh, nice little dive out the way there. Oh, it's a 1-tap. So what I'm seeing at the moment is No Mercy and one of his posse members are both off radar. So they've spawned in this session, by the looks of it, both off radar, trying to just target one player, which seems to be the posse leader here. But yeah, he's seen him, he's clocked him. Oh man, again No Mercy's missing about 5 shots in a row. Oh, what's this? They've all parlayed. No Mercy showed no mercy by parlaying.